the group of 5 game of the week, USF at Memphis. USF is a 3.5-point favorite and is coming off a few strong performances offensively where they put up a ton of points. Now, turnovers have been a problem, but this is still an offense that's able to rally from their mistakes and put up a ton of points. Memphis might have gotten caught looking ahead to this game. They lost to UAB last week, which pretty much got rid of their, I would say they're probably eliminated from the college football playoff at this point. This is a game, though, if there is any hope of them getting there, this is the game that they can do that. This is the game that they can resurrect those hopes. Now, how do you do that? You're going to have to go against an USF offense that is dangerous. Byron Brown is one of the best quarterbacks in college football and does not get the love that he deserves. Because he plays in the group of 5, he doesn't get the recognition because most people aren't really paying attention to USF or the group of 5 for that matter. And I understand that to a certain degree, but Byron Brown is worth watching. He's electric as a passer. He's really good as a runner. He has a great frame at 225 pounds. It's tough to tackle him downfield. Byron Brown is a big reason why USF has had so much success. And we've talked about this week in and week out coming into this season as well. If Byron Brown could find his form from 2 years ago, you knew that this team had a great chance to have a ton of success. And this is a team that has done that. They upset the Florida Gators. They're 6-1. They are on a great path to get to the college football playoff. Now, this is a game that they have to win. So Brown has to take care of the football. We've seen a couple of games where turnovers have been a factor in the offense and have limited the amount of damage that they can do. Fortunately for them, they played defenses that weren't able to stop them on any other drive. They essentially were beating themselves with those turnovers. Memphis is not the same team. Now, Memphis's defense is probably better than, say North Texas and definitely even Charlotte. But the difference here is that USF can still score some points, but Memphis's defense is going to be able to create more stops than those other teams. And they have an offense that can be explosive as well. So this is a dangerous game for USF if they're not careful. If they continue turning the ball over, Memphis might find a way to pull off the upset. They did that against Arkansas. They can do it again against this USF team. So how do they prevent that? Taking care of the football, keeping the ball in Byron Brown's hands, even though he's been one of the players making those mistakes, that's still going to be a good strategy for this team. Now, at the same time, you're going to have to get the rushing game going a little bit more. You have a good amount of depth at the running back position, so you're going to have to get those guys involved as well. Distribute the ball as much as possible so you're limiting the hits that Brown takes. You also want to see Chaz Nimrod and Keyshawn Singleton continue doing what they've done this year. The wide receivers do what they've done this year, which has been be explosive. Jeremiah Coger has been involved as well, averaging 21.6 yards per catch. Singleton's actually, of those three, the lowest one in yards per catch at 16.5. So that's the definition of explosive. They have the ability to create explosive plays. And if you are USF, that's going to be a great way to make sure that you're getting the ball downfield and pulling away from Memphis. This is a USF team that can pretty much have their way with the American. They can score points on anyone, and Memphis is not going to be any different because that's how good USF is. Now, on the Memphis side of things, turnovers are also going to be a part of this. You have to take care of the football because we've seen what amount of damage this USF team can do. North Texas didn't capitalize on USF's mistakes, and we've seen other teams turn the ball over against South Florida, and they ran away with it. And this is a Bulls team that can make this game an absolute blowout in a hurry. So you have to take care of the football. You have to make sure you're being smart with the things that you do, and you also have to take advantage. Be opportunistic. Take advantage of the mistakes that USF makes and make them pay. Turn those turnovers into points. That's going to be a big key. Now, Brendan Lewis has to be the steadying force that we've seen him be. The Arkansas game was the Brendan Lewis game in a way because we saw him be poised in the big moments and make the right decision. Now, Memphis can make explosive plays themselves. I mean, it feels like every time I look up, Sutton Smith is breaking off a big play. and not just like a 5 to 10 yard run. He's breaking off a 50+ yard run. It feels like he has been a very big time player for them when they need him the most. And it feels like in the clutch moments, he's been a big reason why they've had so much success. Now, Lewis, again, is maybe the forgotten part of this, but this is still a guy that's a factor in the rushing attack as well. He has 440 yards, averaging 5.1 yards per carry, and has 7 touchdowns. Now, Greg Durazes is also part of this as well. We saw him deal with injuries early in the year, and now it looks to be like he's back to his normal self, and that's a dangerous weapon to have as well. So again, the weapons for Memphis are just as good as USF's, and that could be dangerous as well. It's just going to come down to the defense. Again, how opportunistic can you be? Can you create turnovers? Right now, Memphis has done that at times, and that's a way to keep them in this game. Because if you can keep USF's offense off the field, then you're in good position to potentially win this football game. That's what you need to do. You need to take care of the football. You need to turn the turnovers for USF into points. Create those points off turnovers. That's going to be a big key. Now, the loss last week for Memphis was obviously disappointing. You don't want to see that if you're a Memphis fan. However, maybe they were focusing too much on this one. Now, this is where you really have to show that if you were focused on it, you got to win this game somehow, some way. Doing so is going to be easier said than done, but this is going to be a fun one. USF is a 3.5 point favorite. I think that they're just too good for Memphis right now. And if Memphis does win, there are some big concerns about the American potentially getting into the playoff, more so than they were before this week. I still think that they're the best conference of the group of 5, but there are plenty of competition, or plenty of teams, I should say, that are competition to the American for that spot. So that's something to keep an eye on if Memphis does win. I am going to go with USF. I think that they are just the better team, and they're going to get the job done here.